Hello, this is Mr. Sam. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna talk about happiness. What happiness is exactly. What does it take us to, and why is being happy doesn't equal to happiness. We have seen like so many different stories, so many different ways to approach happiness, and I don't think that the definition of happiness that we have right now was accurate enough. When you look at happiness, you're not asking for a certain like status of your life. It's genuinely you being happy and happy you're being happy and for a long period of time. So you are consistently happy. I think that is what happiness should truly be. It is like very simplistic when you think about it. It's not you need something to reach a state called happiness. It's really just do whatever you do but feeling happy all the time. So you can see people who are very rich, they can be happy, and there are poor peoples that can be happy too, and there are individuals that have to like sacrifices a lot. They have to work very hard to reach what they want and to get happiness, and some are just generally feeling happy like they don't need much and they just sit around and they are happy people. And the ancient philosophers, when they talking about when they're talking about happiness, as I recall, it should be Socrates or Socrates or his students talking about the types of happiness. So basically, he was saying the worst type of happiness is a pursuit of pleasure, of short-term pleasure, and and then you have a pursuit of successful life, and then you have a pursuit of philosophy, and the pursuit of philosophy is the best. And when you think about this kind of statements, you can realize why he is saying a pursuit of fulfillment is the worst type of happiness. It is because if you're only looking for short-term happiness, fulfillment, you want better food, you want better quality of life, you want hotter girls, and or like for example you're doing drug and you always want more and more dopamine boost, you want more and more stimulus, you will end up getting less and less. So the harder you work towards physical pleasure, the harder you need to put in for the next climax of happiness. So if you have this kind of life, it is actually extremely hard for you to be happy consistently, since you reach a certain level of happy, and that's gonna fade away very soon. Then you're gonna be eagering to get like the next level happiness, and you will have like most of your life sad, grinding for something that you wanted, and only a small portion of your life that is actually happy. And when we see a person like that, we would not say that that is a person that have reached happiness, and it is actually fitting the definition too. So happiness is someone that have a consist is being in a happy mood consistently. It means that he does not feel sad all that much. He's consistently happy. And when you look at a life of chasing success, a life of grinding to be a better version of yourself, like this is a much better and much more reliable way of being happy. So if you are sticking your mindset into, oh, only if I get this particular thing to make me feel happy, then I will reach happiness, you will realize that most of the things on this planet is not controlled by you. You have very less resources and very less ability make things just work the way you want it. And so in that case, if your happiness is based on outside materials, and then you will be sad because most of the time it's not gonna happen in your way. And the second best happiness way that philosopher was talking about, who was that guy? Some student of Socrates was saying the pursuit of successfulness. So you wanted to be the best version of yourself. It means that you are grinding for like something internal. So you're doing hard work, same as the guys who are pursuing pleasure. But even if you fail, even if you face struggle, even if bad things has happened to you, uh, even if bad things has happened to you, you will always feel happy consistently, because you're not feeling happy from the outcome of your action. You're feeling happy because you ended up a better person. So not the external outcome, but the internal outcome. And then like athletes and the people that is like super enthusiastic to their craft, like painters, artists, and the novelists, all this kind of stuff. So they actually spend all of their life pursuing one thing, and as long as they can do their art to a better and better scale, they are happy. So this is like the second best thing you can do, right? It is much more reliable. Therefore, you can have much more chance of having a consistent happy mood. And but that's not the most reliable thing, as that person say, because you might lose your art, you might lose your ability to do your skill, like as a athlete, you might get injured, and you might decline, or you might decline in your performance as you grow older. And a lot of things is happening with all this different kind of art and crafts and all this kind of skillful things. You want it to be the best version of yourself, but eventually you're just gonna fade and into an inevitable death. So that is not the most stable things too. And what that student of Socrates say is not Plato, the student of Plato. What was his name? Aristoid, something like that. That guy. He is saying the best way to be happy is to live a philosophical life. So you're basing your happiness on nothing but your own mind. So if you lose your mind, you're not gonna be sad because you are not capable of feeling sad. And if you doesn't, your knowledge, your pursuing of philosophy, your pursuing of knowledge. So by philosophy, he's not only saying the philosophy that we teach in the college. He is basically saying science. So you are basing your happiness on the pursuing of new knowledge, and that is the most consistent way of reaching happiness. If you're basing your happiness on knowledge, then you're never gonna lose this happiness, no matter where you are, no matter what status you're in, no matter what happened to your physical form. And if you are just demolished, if you die, it's not gonna matter. If you lose your mind, then you're not gonna feel sad. So the most consistent way of reaching happiness is to pursue knowledge. That is quite a common idea of all the Greek philosophers, I think. All of the Greek philosophers will be like, yo, the best thing in the world is to get smart, get knowledge, and that's the most reliable thing, and you're gonna like it so much that once you actually know how fun is it to get knowledge, you wouldn't want to do anything else. And of course, that is not accepted by most of the modern society, including me. Like as a human, as a species, you're not gonna just overcome all of your physical obstacles, because at that time they don't have physics, they don't have biology, so they don't understand that there is some fundamental thing in us human being that we just can't conquer. So you can train your mind. If you are like into the Stoic or any ancient Greek philosophy, you're gonna train your mind. You're not gonna train it as what they tell you. You're not gonna be like, oh, someone's cutting my shoulder, but I'm not gonna flinch. That's not gonna happen. But I do believe that if someone is purposefully training their own mind, they're gonna have like a really strong willpower and a really strong mind, basically. It's just that I feel like Stoicism, it's so twisted in the trends of Sigma and stuff. So they are preaching some of the good stuff that the Greeks actually said, with like a bunch of modern weird ideology and brainwashing our youth, which is pretty weird to me. It's still good to read whatever they wrote us though. So what I'm trying to say in this video is to conclude, happiness in the simplest word, by definition, by my definition, is being in a happy mood consistently. And to me, I think the best way to do that was not being a philosopher. It was not an endless pursuit of knowledge, because it is biologically impossible. And it is like, imagine if you could base your happiness on something that never changes. Of course that's great, but i just I don't believe that someone can actually base their entire happiness to knowledge. So I think we should always choose the second most reliable way of being happy. Is basically to what's wrong with my neck today, man? Oh my god. And I'm too lazy to edit that out. The best way to reach happiness would be the second method, which is you want to be the best version of yourself, and you're not gonna care about the physical outcome, the external outcome of your action, but just be happy about like, okay, I am a better person now. So if you're drawing, you should not care about like, oh, I am rank 5 in this competition, they give me 5th place. But you should care more about your practice and your improvement. So you're constantly racing with yourself. You don't care about how much money you make by drawing, but you just care so much about simply be a better artist. Same thing applies to guitar, same thing applies to working out, like having a better physique. All this kind of stuff just makes you genuinely happy, and I can actually tell that by my own experience. When I'm working towards something, when I try to get better at something, you actually dive into it and you love your craft so much, man. Like, I could do this all day, I could do this all my life. I think that is literally the best way of entertaining yourself. And when you look at the first way of getting happy, that is miserable. When we say about the happiness from pleasure, we're talking about endless scrolling on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok whatsoever, or reading too much web novel, or drowning in Netflix. Like the things is that you have a big urge to do, but after you finish, you just felt empty, and you don't want to do it again until you kind of forget that feeling and repeat the same thing. Unlike doing your craft, and whenever you finish, you just feel like, oh man, I am improving, I am fulfilled, I'm happy, and you can sleep faster. You're just generally a happy person, man. So that's basically what happiness is all about. There's a few more things I wanted to say, but since I have to upload every day, I'll just leave it till tomorrow. Goodbye, guys. Have a great evening. Well, the past few videos have 0 views, so there is, in fact, no you guys here. It was just me talking to me. Alright, have a good one. Sam.